All right. Meanwhile, Agricultural, Food and Allied Democratic Workers Union says South Africa needs to fasten the process of addressing the land question based on the logic of the Freedom Charter and the Marxist notion of the food regime. This as today the world celebrates World Food Day, and to take the discussion further now, we have in studio now Howard Mbana, Agricultural, Food and Allied Democratic Workers Union's Deputy General Secretary. Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through.
Good afternoon.
Now, what's the significance of celebrating this day, whereas you and I are sitting here, but some people go to bed hungry?
Well, you could say it is a celebration, but it's an acknowledgement of the importance of food and how it is, and its importance for a person to survive. Because everyone, whether you are rich, you are poor, you are young, you are small, you have at a certain point in time to eat.
All right, so we're celebrating food.
Food.
As a way of surviving.
Food.
That's what you say.
Yes.
We do not celebrate the actual access to food itself.
That is encompassed there because there's access to food. It's also an important part because there are people who sleep hungry. It means that they don't have access to food. But food as it is there. Everybody knows that somewhere there's food. But it is a very funny thing that there's a lot of food being produced, but there's a lot of people that die.
Why is it the case? Even when you look at the agricultural sector itself, it is in crisis in South Africa.
It is in crisis for many reasons. One of the reasons why it is in crisis in agriculture is that it's the system that is being used, producing food for profit, not for feeding people first. And when you are satisfied that your people are full, then you can start selling and making sure that you can get profit out of that. What is happening is that food is not meant to feed the people. It's meant for profit.
But why are we not taking up the initiative as people without food to do something about the situation? There was a program back in the days, 1 hectare per household, that was introduced, and I know that you're calling for the reintroduction of that particular program again. So why can we not go back to those times?
Willpower on those who can do it. As I'm sitting here, we are part of the people that want that thing to be revived, because there's something that is saying that people cannot farm, people are lazy, and so on. But the real matter is that when you don't have land, you don't even have a hectare, what are you going to do? Nothing. You are unemployed. You can't even go and buy a hoe, and so on. So that is part of the problem.
Okay.
We support this thing of that. First, for those that are at the periphery of things, let them get a hectare. Steady but surely you don't have to. There's a myth that says if you grow big, you want a big farm, is when you are going to make money, or you're going to grow food that is sufficient. The small land that you have, the small plot that you have, is sufficient if you grow and you do your agriculture on your growing in a manner that is going to be inclusive of the crops that are going to be nutritious to you. What is happening again is this thing of thinking that if you plow big land, one crop, I think it's called monocropping, you are going to make money. Yes, you're going to make money, but that is only one part of crop. It's not. There's no nutrition there. You're growing one set of crops, and the other nutritious foods you are not growing, which is one of the failures why agriculture is in crisis today. It's because they are concentrating only on their profit, and in fact, when they grow that, they are not growing it to feed the people. They're growing it to export elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it doesn't assist the ordinary people.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think will assist them, the ordinary people? How will they go around this particular problem if they do not have land at their disposal?
Well, in South Africa, we know that land was taken. That's where we should start. People were forcefully removed from land. And land is the center of everything you want to do. Land must be there. Whatever you want to do, you want to drive a car, you want to have a house, you want to grow food, land is the matter. Now, this thing of the land restitution that was started when we started off in this new dispensation, we thought that 1994 this thing is going to, it is being stalled in many ways, because the people that are supposed to be accelerating it and making sure that this thing is happening are not. Hence, we find people now desperate. Up to this time, even saying that because the people are using technicalities, the law, to distribute land. The law must be assisting, not restrictive to people to access land.
But do you believe in the call for the expropriation of land without compensation?
I believe in it as a tool for transformation, this transformation that we're talking about. If transformation was being done in a way that everybody was being addressed, we wouldn't be talking about land without expropriation. Somebody is not sensitive to this thing. That's why it has come to this situation now. That's why we are saying let land be expropriated, especially if it is meant to do and address the transformation where the very same people that we are saying are dying of food insecurity.
And I think the question is, what role should trade unions such as yours play in this particular problem? I know that there is a national conference taking place next week, Friday. Yes. How do you think, very quickly on this one?
Many things. We must start dialogue, talking. We must remember that there are talk, but also press with government, that they talk with government, talk with the private sector. They must come to the party about this thing. Government must make sure that land is being accelerated and given to people. Business must come and say, we are giving the land. The money, the thing of saying, no, let me get money and so on, is not assisting.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
And we are calling on all the other people that are interested in this dialogue to come to the party.
Thank you so much. We'll have you back to hear what came out of your conference next week. Thank you so much for coming through. Howard Mbana, Agricultural, Food and Allied Democratic Workers Union Deputy General Secretary.